Hi guys, I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Today I'm going to be explaining the biggest thing today that I'm going to be explaining the instructions for the final assessment of this unit. So as you guys know, we've been working on argument and we are going to go ahead and start building our arguments, and I'm going to show you exactly what that's going to look like. In Mrs. Todd's class, you will be going over the rubric and exactly how you'll be graded. So if you're watching this video before you're watching Mrs. Todd's class, you might have some questions over that, but hang on and be sure to know that those questions will be answered when you get to her class. Okay, so today our task is the daily video. So usually I have you guys just watch this on YouTube, but today you guys are watching it in the form of an ed puzzle. And so answering the questions along the way while this video plays is your assignment for today. So like I said, that this is giving you the directions for your final assessment. And so I'm asking you questions while this video plays so that I can know for sure that you have watched this video, you understand what's going to be expected of you, and that is all for today's assignment, as next class will be the assessment and we're going to get started on that. The last thing that I'll have you do, or the first thing, totally up to you, is your 10 minutes of reading and your reading log. So again, I mentioned this last class, but I'm going to say it again. You do not need to fill out the weekly reflection every time you fill out the reading log. Some classes you will just simply go in, write your book title and the number of pages that you read that day. And I'll let you know the class that you need to fill out the weekly reflection for. It is weekly because you'll fill it out once a week. And so if you have my class 3 times that week, you'll have 3 logs and a weekly reflection. And if you only have my class twice that week, you should have 2 logs and a weekly reflection. So usually I'll have you do that the last class of the week for you. And so if you are a Purple Day student, you're going to have me one more time before this week is over. You'll have me on Friday. So wait for your weekly reflection until Friday. If you are a Silver Day class, you are going to have this class be your last class of the week. So go ahead and fill out your weekly reflection if you are a Silver Day class student. Okay, let's get into the assignment. So the assignment is going to be in Mrs. Todd's class on Schoology. So you will not find the assignment in the reading Schoology. You'll find it in ELA Schoology. So we've got kind of an example put up. This is not the one you guys are going to be going to, so kind of ignore the fact that it is up in this folder because that is not where you're going to turn in the assignment. But this is what your assignment is going to look like. So it is a discussion board, and I went ahead and wrote some notes off to the side, things I wanted to hit while I was talking to you. It is a discussion board. Oh man, it goes away if I click. And you are going to post on the discussion board a 1-paragraph argument. So within that argument, you do want to be hitting all the things that you know a good argument should hit, but you're just doing it within a paragraph rather than a full, probably 5-paragraph essay. So you should probably have a sentence right away stating the claim. Here, it's actually outlined right here, stating the claim. You should have at least 2 credible sources that you use to find cold hard evidence supporting your ideas. You should have a warrant for each piece of evidence, so kind of an overarching reasoning statement of the thought you have, and then evidence to support that thought you have. And then overall, kind of hitting that pathos idea, your writing should be persuasive and compelling. So just because you're saying things and backing it up with evidence doesn't necessarily mean that the words that you're saying are making me believe your side. So you do overall want to come off in a compelling way. Once your paragraph is submitted, you need to reply to someone on the opposition. So how this is going to work is your particular discussion board is not available to the whole class. It's only available to a very small group of people. So you're going to kind of be put into small groups that all have the same topic. And your group is either going to be 6 people or 4 people. And that's completely random. You're going to have random people assigned to your group. Half will argue in favor, and you'll be assigned a side, and half would argue in or against the resolution. So it will say your names, and it will tell you whether you need to argue for the in favor of the resolution or against. So you don't get a choice, and this is a really, even though that might be frustrating, this is a really good thing, because we all need to be capable of stepping into someone else's shoes and saying, okay, in my head, I don't really agree with this, but I can step into someone else's shoes and still argue for the ideas that someone else must have. So you need to be compelling and act like that's what you think, even if you don't. That is a skill that we hope that you're learning in this unit. Okay, so what happens if your group or someone in your group doesn't do their work? It's okay. So this is an individual-based project with a little bit of group interaction. So it will have to have at least one person on the opposing side as you post so that you can reply. But if there's only one person on the other side that did it and two people didn't, or one person didn't, it's okay. It doesn't affect you. You just need one person on the other side to do the work so that you can reply in opposition. So you're going to come up with a counterclaim to reply to them and tell them you acknowledge their ideas, yet your side is still better, basically. And so you'll support that with evidence, and you'll basically come up with a full-fledged counter argument that includes all the things that a regular argument does. It's just arguing against someone else's points. There will be a range of topics. So your particular group will have a different topic than all the other groups in your class. So you won't have any repeats or anything like that. And I wouldn't ask other students in your class for help because they've got totally different topics than you, unless they're in your particular group. And if that's the case, if they're in your group and you guys want to Zoom it up and ask them, what ideas that they have, I would love to see a little bit of variation in your arguments, but ultimately, if you guys are talking to people in your group about the points that they're making, I see nothing wrong with that. Obviously, you'll have to do your own work, but I don't mind collaboration. So ultimately, you will be making 2 posts in this assessment. So you will have your first post where you are making your original argument with all of those things, and then you will have your counter argument post in reply to somebody else that also includes all those things. Mrs. Todd is going over the assessment and rubric, so you guys will know that there are certain parts of the rubric that will go into your reading grade, and there are certain parts of the rubric that are going into your ELA grade. So although our classes greatly collaborated and this assessment is going into both classes, each class kind of hit on or maybe focused on parts of the rubric a little bit more. And so that is why we're splitting up the rubric and how we're able to say kind of these things fit more with the reading class, these things fit more with the ELA class as far as how you're being assessed. Now on your discussion board or your work with Mrs. Todd, you will see and work with these examples, bad examples, good counterclaims, bad counterclaims, all of those things so that you have a little bit of a resource to turn to if you're not sure what good quality work looks like. You also are welcome to go back to all of those pair decks that explained ethos, pathos, and logos, that those will be good resources as those are major parts of the rubric. I also would maybe suggest taking a look back at some of those arguments that you looked at when you identified different pieces of the argument. So identifying parts of an argument, assignment, challenge, identifying parts of an argument, and identifying counterclaim. I think all of those articles could be good resources to look back on if you're wondering what a good resource should look like. You also, when you're, this is one thing I forgot to mention, when you are supporting your post with credible resources, don't forget the CRAP test. So go through currency, reliability, author, and purpose. Those are the 4 pieces of crap and things that I want you to be in consideration of when you are supplying your sources. You will supply your sources with links. So on your discussion post, you should be able to just add a link. Let me actually, can I show you where you do that? Yeah. So yeah, you add the link. So I might say link here and then select and then click the hyperlink just like you would on like a Google Doc or a Google Slides, something like that. Trying to think of anything else you need to know. Did I hit everything on my list? Help, resources, examples? Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so submitting this Edpuzzle is your homework for today. Don't forget to get your 10 minutes of reading in and your weekly reading log if you are a Silver Day class. Purple Day class, if you want to go ahead and do your weekly log, you're welcome. Otherwise, you do have one more class that you can wait to do it next time. Okay, bye guys. Good luck.